Hi friends, we are back with the end of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, book number 1. So next time I will be reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. Alright, so we are on May. So remember, Greg is trying to get nominated for Class Clown. So, Thursday. Today I was trying to figure out how I was going to sneak a thumbtack onto Mr. Worth's chair in history when he said something that made me rethink my plan. Mr. Worth told us he has a dentist appointment tomorrow, so we're going to have a substitute. Subs are like comic gold. You can just about do anything you want, and you can't get in trouble. Greg Heffley, will you please do this problem? Your mama. Excuse me? Your big fanny granny. Well, I think that's hardly your slap-happy grandpappy. So this is what he's envisioning. Let's see what actually ends up happening. Friday. I walked into my history class today ready to execute my plan, but when I got to the door, guess who was the substitute teacher? Hi, honey bunches. It's his mom. Of all the people in the world to be our sub today, it was Mom. I thought Mom's days of getting involved at my school were over. She used to be one of those parents who came in to help out in the classroom, but that all changed after Mom volunteered to be a chaperone for a field trip to the zoo when I was in 3rd grade. Mom had prepared all sorts of materials to help us kids appreciate the different exhibits, but all anyone wanted to do was watch the animals go to the bathroom. So they're at the elephant exhibit. Anyway, Mom totally foiled my plan to win Class Clown. I'm just lucky there's not a category called Biggest Mama's Boy, because after today, I'd win that one in a landslide. You forgot your lunch at home. Wednesday. The school paper came out again today. I quit my job as school cartoonist after Creighton the Curious Student came out, and I didn't really care who they picked to replace me. But everyone was laughing at the comic page at lunch, so I picked up a copy to see what was so funny. And when I opened it, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a Zoo-wee Mama, and of course, Mr. Ira didn't change a single word of Rowley's strip. Zoo-wee Mama by Rowley Jefferson. Hey, beautiful lady, do you want to go on a date with me? I'm not a lady, I'm just one of those dogs with long hairs, so no thanks to that date. Zoo-wee Mama. So now Rowley's getting all the fame that was supposed to be mine. Will you put us in your comic? Sure. Even the teachers are kissing Rowley's butt. I almost lost my lunch when Mr. Worth dropped his chalk in class today. Zoo-wee Mama. So I think Greg's a little jealous. Monday. This Zoo-wee Mama thing has gotten me really worked up. Rowley's getting all the credit for a comic that we came up with together. I figured the least he could do was put my name on the strip as co-creator. So I went up to Rowley after school and told him that's what he was going to have to do. But Rowley said Zoo-wee Mama was all his idea, and that I didn't have anything to do with it. I guess we must have been talking pretty loud, because the next thing you know, we attracted a crowd. And they're all yelling fight. The kids at my school are always itching to see a fight. Me and Rowley tried to walk away, but those guys weren't going to let us go until they saw us throw some punches. I'd never been in a real fight before, so I didn't know how I was supposed to stand or hold my fists or anything. And you can tell Rowley didn't know what he was doing either, because he just started prancing around like a leprechaun. I'm pretty sure I could take Rowley in a fight, but the thing that made me nervous was the fact that Rowley takes karate. I don't know what kind of hocus pocus they teach in Rowley's karate class, but the last thing I needed was for him to lay me out right there on the blacktop. Before me or Rowley made a move, there was a screeching sound in the school parking lot. A bunch of teenagers had stopped their pickup truck and they started piling out. I was just happy that everyone's attention was on the teenagers instead of me and Rowley, but all the other kids took off when the teenagers started heading our way. And then I realized that these teenagers looked awfully familiar. That's when it hit me. These were the same guys who chased me and Rowley around on Halloween night, and they had finally caught up with us. So everyone's running away. But before we could make a run for it, we had our arms pinned behind our backs. Those guys wanted to teach us a lesson for taunting them on Halloween night, and they started arguing over what they should do with us. But to be honest with you, I was more concerned about something else. The cheese was only a few feet away from where we were standing on the blacktop, and it was looking nastier than ever. That looks pretty nasty. The bigger teenager must have caught my eye because the next thing I knew, he was looking at the cheese too. And I guess that gave him the idea he was looking for. Riley got singled out first. The big kid grabbed Riley and dragged him over to the cheese. Now, I don't want to say exactly what happened next because if Riley ever tries to run for president and someone finds out what these guys made him do, he won't have a chance. So I'll put it to you this way. They made Riley blank the cheese. 3-letter words. And it sounds like Riley's over there gagging. So I wonder what they made him do to the cheese. I knew they were going to make me do it too. I started to panic because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight my way out of this situation. So I did some fast talking instead. I would, but I'm allergic to dairy. And believe it or not, it actually worked. You're lucky, punk. I know. I guess the teenagers were satisfied they had made their point because after they made Riley finish off the rest of the cheese, they let us go. They got back in their truck and took off down the road. Me and Riley walked home together, but neither one of us really said anything on the way back. I thought about mentioning to Riley that maybe he could have pulled out a couple of his karate moves back there, but something told me to hold off on that thought for now. So Riley looks pretty bad. Thursday. At school today, the teachers let us outside after lunch. It took about 5 seconds for someone to realize the cheese was missing from its spot on the blacktop. Everybody crowded around to look at where the cheese used to be. Nobody could believe it was actually gone. People started coming up with these crazy theories about what happened to it. Somebody said that maybe the cheese grew legs and walked away. It took all of my self-control to keep my mouth shut, and if Riley wasn't standing right there, I honestly don't know if I could have kept quiet. A couple of the guys who were arguing over what happened to the cheese were the same ones who were egging me and Riley on yesterday afternoon. So I knew it wasn't going to be long before someone put 2 and 2 together and figured out that we must have had something to do with it. Riley was starting to panic, and I don't blame him either. If the truth ever came out about how the cheese disappeared, Riley would be finished. He'd have to move out of the state and maybe even the country. That's when I decided to speak up. I told everyone that I knew what happened to the cheese. I said I was sick of it being in the blacktop, and I just decided to get rid of it once and for all. For a second there, everyone just froze. I thought people were going to start thanking me for what I did, but boy, was I wrong. I really wish I worded my story a little differently, because if I threw away the cheese, guess what that meant? It meant that I have the cheese touch. June. Well, if Riley appreciated what I did for him last week, he hadn't said it, but we've started hanging out after school again, so I guess that means me and him are back to normal. I can honestly say that so far, having the cheese touch hasn't been that bad after all. It got me out of doing the square dance unit in phys ed because no one would partner up with me, and I've had the whole lunch table to myself every day. Today was the last day of school, and they handed out yearbooks after 8th period. I flipped to the class favorites page, and here's the picture that was waiting for me. Class clown, Riley Jefferson, Zoo Wee Mama. All I can say is if anyone wants a free yearbook, they can dig one out of the trash in the back of the cafeteria. You know, Riley can have the class clown for all I care, but if he ever gets too big for his britches, I'll just remind him that he was the guy who ate the cheese. Alright, so there we have it. The end of Diary of a Wimpy Kid Book 1. We will be moving on to number 2. I will see you guys next time for Roderick Rules. See ya.